A very good evening. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. The top story that we're looking at right now is that in a murderous road rage incident in Bengaluru, a 24-year-old food delivery agent, Darshan, died after being chased and deliberately being hit by a car on October 25th near the Nagar 7th phase. The accused, 32-year-old Kalaripayattu trainer Manoj Kumar from Kerala and his wife Aarati Sharma, 30, from Jammu and Kashmir, were arrested within hours after CCTV footage showed their white sedan ramming into Darshan's scooter from behind following a minor traffic dispute. The chase began near Brigade Millennium Signal. Darshan was thrown off his bike and succumbed to severe head injuries at a hospital. Police booked the couple under relevant sections of the law for murder. They were then produced in court and remanded to judicial custody till November the 12th. Joining me on the broadcast are my panelists to discuss this issue: Ashwini Dubey, AOR Supreme Court; Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer, Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, and Seema Kausar, social activist. I want to begin this discussion and open it with Sanjay Sahai. Thank you all for joining us. Mr. Sahai, a very shocking incident coming to light. I mean, where is our society going where ego is now mattering more than humanity?
There's no denying the fact that we are going in the scary direction and more of presence on the social media without understanding the realistic nature of our existence has taken us where we don't know. The crux of the matter here is that there is no road discipline. When road discipline is not there, and then there are any number of stress factors in your life, and the ego has grown to a level that if you're doing an IT job, is literally as if you're running the world or something, and nobody can come in way of your normal course of things or your course of life. This is where we come. Now, there is absolutely no effort which is being made by the police and the law enforcement agencies or even the municipal corporation to bring discipline to our existence. There are 132 or 152 AI-enabled cameras in central Bangalore. But I don't think any of the road rage cases have been caught in a preventive manner in last so many numbers of years. If we take from 2022 to May 2025, I see there's some 88 cases which has happened. And most of these cases are by, supposedly we can call them as the budding rowdies in the police parlance. But now what is most intriguing is that the people who are coming from good professions, people are supposed to have a very peaceful and a calm frame of thinking. They are indulging in all this. So road rage, let's accept it. It is a malaise which has hit us in a big way. And that is primarily because of two reasons. Everybody has a very inflated ego for God knows whatever reason. Might be whatever is earning or whatever job he's doing, or might be he's coming from a criminal background or he feels that he can get away, or that he can play around with some political influence or bureaucratic influence. Second, there is no discipline on the road. If you see what I call as the Zepto or Blinkit type of driving, so you see all around the place, vehicles are going all around the place. The point is literally there is absolutely no discipline there. So broadly, this is where we stand. It is extremely scary to use a vehicle as a weapon and kill an individual. And this is not the first time. We have seen at lots of places, people are carried over the bonnet, people are carried under the underbelly of the vehicle. So, and the powers that be and the regulatory agencies and people who can influence the civil society, they literally keep aloof and indifferent from this particular issue.
Right. I want to go across to Ashwini Dubey now. I want to understand, do you think that the laws that are in place for hit and run cases are not stringent enough? That's why people have the audacity to, in fact, go ahead and commit such crimes. Now it's amounting to murder, even though the police has now charged them for murder based on the CCTV footage and the evidence that they were actually destroying. That's also caught on camera. But in general, because of such road rage incidents actually rising in the country, is the law not strict enough? Do we need more stricter punishments?
Yes, if we see as of now, Section 106 of BNS, which was earlier 304A, where the minimum punishment was 2 years, and then death caused by the negligence unless it's amounts to culpable homicide, that has been partly stayed by the executive decision. But deterrent punishment only will not serve the purpose. What would serve the purpose? The road discipline, the police deployment, law and order enforcing agency, checking that yes, there is no the violators are not misusing the powers, the cars are not flying in the way which above than what the limit has been fixed, and everywhere, wherever cameras are installed, then the police personnel are deployed and preventing this kind. This is not first incident, and this is also not the last. Darshan apologized and sped away. But despite that, the anger which the couple had, and what was the reason behind that? The aggressive, rude, angry behavior might be certain other reasons. But what is required? Requirement is that the law enforcement agency and the police deployment. कि मैं यहाँ से निकला तो आगे मुझे पकड़ लेंगे पुलिस के लोग खड़े हैं. But you see what has happened in 31st December's midnight 2 years back in Delhi. The same thing for 2 kilometers. That Anjali, which was hit by a car, or the people, they had some fight with her. She came from the hotel in the midnight, and that for 2 kilometers there was no deployment. Despite that, in the national capital territory, it's not first incidents. You see the incidents, and if you analyze murder for an iPhone in February 2023, the 20-year-old delivery agent Hemnath Nayak was murdered by a customer, Hemnath Kunje, for second-hand iPhone. What was the reason behind? Had it been for that, more than they would serve the incarceration inside the jail, and the second they will pay to the fee to the lawyers. 40,000 rupees is enough. But the anger which triggered at that point in time, that has to be taken care of. कि कैसे पुलिस और agencies और civil societies उस anger को manage करती है, so that nobody is coming. Sudden these things happens. Darshan murder, assault on Modi Hospital Junction, assault involving Indian Air Force officers, then number of Chhat Puja disputes, truck mossed on Swiggy agent. There are n number of incidents which are happening. What is requirement is law enforcement agencies, those who have a responsibility to maintain law and order, also the civil societies which orders duty to educate people. Then only we can prevent this kind of thing. Otherwise, we will keep discussing. There is not exclusive fault we cannot put on the law and order agency. This is the fault of those people also who were driving it, the gentleman who was driving it. Then also the police deployment was not there. Then how to prevent an anger? If somebody is apologizing, somebody is saying, "Bhaiya, mere se mistake ho gayi," but despite in a fit of rage, chased the bike for nearly 2 kilometers and rammed it from behind, throwing Darshan and Varun in the road. Darshan died on the spot. Varun is undergoing treatment at a private hospital with serious injuries. So Shivani, requirement is, duty lies on one of us. So that is what the police deployment. And if immediately 2 kilometers means he might have taken at least 10 minutes to reach in 2 kilometers. And if it's one inside the colony, then police deployment must have prevented this kind of incident. So I must say, the law 106, the executive decision, by virtue of executive decision truckers strike, which was made in 106, that Home Ministry made an order, and by the time put an stay on that, stay should be vacated. And those who create this kind of hindrance, the maximum punishment, which is 10 years, should be given, and that punishment should be apologized. What happened after Nirbhaya? You tell me one thing. That sexual assault cases stopped? Not. But yes, the punishment which is being given by the courts now, to some extent, have controlled the cases against the women. अब सबको लगता है कि अगर women के against कुछ किया तो हमारे ऊपर cases होंगे. That same with the POXO cases also. So the deterrent punishment as well as society should be executed, and duty lies with the government, executive both, to inform the citizens कि अगर ऐसा कुछ किया तो बहुत deterrent बना. अभी तो 2 साल maximum. How here he has died, it may be a case of murder, or he may be acquitted also at a later stage. We don't know what would happen tomorrow, whether this evidence suits and is suffice enough to punish him or not. That the court will decide tomorrow. But as of now, you see the person who has died, and then immediately duty on the enforcement agencies to look into the families also. Government must make a plan that how this kind of things must be avoided. Deployment of police personnel, CCTV footage, CCTV cameras monitoring from the all police picket and police posts. that we can prevent, and a joint accountability lies on everyone to prevent this kind of incidents. Over to you.
Right. Gautam Mukherjee, I want to bring you into this discussion. Does this incident actually reflect a broader deterioration of civility on, roads in the big cities? Because over here, this was a display of arrogance and inhumanity. Allegedly, it started because a mirror was broken on the car and, we lost a life. A mirror can be replaced.
Well, it wasn't even a broken mirror. It was brushing against the mirror. And because delivery agents are always in a hurry, they have to deliver the food within a limited period. Otherwise, the customer may not accept it and he may be fined. He apologized and he left. And this person and his road rage is what has caused this. Now, if he now gets bail, and if really the maximum punishment is 2 years at the end of a long court proceeding, then it tantamounts to the fact that you can kill a man in cold blood by doing something like this and pretty much get away with it. So first of all, as my co-panelist was saying, that the enforcement of stricter punishment is extremely necessary. That means if there is a road rage killing, a deliberate road rage killing like this, you must be jailed for 10 years or more. Now, what is likely to happen in this instance is the perpetrators' lawyers are likely to suggest and argue that it is an accident, that it wasn't deliberate, which means completely different set of laws come into play, and the person gets off pretty much, with a fine perhaps, and a very low jail sentence, because an accident is not premeditated. But in this instance, because of cameras, it appears that it was very much premeditated, and there is already a move afoot to try and absolve the lady who was with this person by saying that she wasn't there in the car in the first place and only came to pick up the pieces that had fallen on the ground later. So all of this is, fairly typical. We have seen many such cases where the effort is made to obfuscate what actually happened and get the people who did it off the hook, while an innocent person loses his life and his family is left with, that kind of grief and loss. Shivani.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important point that you have raised. I want to go across to Seema Kausar on this. With this, do you think, Seema, that there are certain groups like gig workers or delivery agents who are more vulnerable to being victims in such road rage accidents? Do you think that this delicate imbalance of power also came into the picture when this entire incident actually happened?
I would like to say this is if at all he is not a delivery person or any other big car hits the broken their rear view mirror, they wouldn't be show this much of road rage. This is completely racism, and it is nothing but a casteism. Like how poor people are, they have the different caste. They treat them like worms on the roads. So this is completely unacceptable. We can see it clearly in the that video that they purposely hit. Purposely, it was clearly showing in the. No one can say that if the videos were shown in the court. No one can say that this is an accident. It clearly it was visible that they hit it. So what kind of, if it is a very expensive car, like any other expensive car person or any other super bike person has hit them, so they
All
would
right,
apologize
Seema,
to him.
I would like to interrupt you here. We have some breaking news that's coming in that we'd like to introduce to our viewers. I'll ask all my guests to please